Welcome back everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to sharpen a knife using a sharpening stone. Now, as you'll see, this knife is extremely blunt. It needs a good sharpening. Can't even get through this paper, so let's get stuck into it. All right, so we're not using anything fancy here. This is just your basic sharpening stone. We've got a coarse side and a fine side. We're going to start on the coarse side. I'm just laying that down on a damp blue cloth just to stop any slipping. I've also got some soapy water here. That's just going to act as a lubricant. We're going to pour a little bit over our stone. We'll make sure that's completely covered. And then we're going to get our knife and we're just going to do the same motion over and over again, applying a little bit of pressure. And we've got our knife slightly angled. You want to maintain that same angle throughout this whole process. And then we want to rotate our knife over and keep that same angle and pressure on the other side. Now there's several ways you can do this. You can just continue on as we are at the moment, where you can use one hand and go back and forth like so. Or some people will actually use a circular motion. But if you're just starting out, keep it simple and just keep using the same motion like this. You want to do the same amount of strokes on each side. And once your stone starts looking a little bit dry, put some more of that soapy water on there. You want to keep checking the edge of your knife. You want to just lightly run your thumb across the blade. Be careful when you're doing this so you don't cut yourself. I can feel that edge is starting to come back nicely, but it does need a little bit more work, so we'll keep going. And once you can feel a nice edge on your knife, we can wipe it off. We'll flip our sharpening stone over, get a bit more lubricant on there, and we'll repeat that same process on the fine side. I can really feel that edge coming back nicely now. It still needs to go a little bit further, so we'll keep going until we're completely happy with it. All right, so we've spent about 10 minutes working on that knife and it's come up beautiful. Now, depending on how blunt your knife is, how experienced you are with sharpening a knife, you might end up spending half an hour plus sharpening your knife. It's a process you don't want to rush, so take your time. Make sure you've got that same angle and motion every single time. And then you also want to get yourself a honing steel. Now, you want to use these for two reasons. There's a very rough edge on that knife now. So every time after I've sharpened my knife, I'll give it a steel. You want to make sure you're steeling it on the same angle as what you sharpened it. And if it's easier, you can see the angle a bit better. You can stand your steel up upside down on a table and just run your knife like so. But again, find what works for you, what's easiest for you. Keep in mind, I was a butcher for 10 years, so sharpening my knife was something I was doing quite often. And secondly, you want to be using your steel to bring the edge back on your knife. So if you've been slicing something and your knife just isn't getting through it, give it a little steel, just like we did before after we sharpened our knife, and you'll find that your knife is nice and sharp again. A lot of the time you might think that your knife needs a sharpening on the stone, but really you just need to bring that edge back. As you'll see, this knife is much sharper now. We've got the same piece of paper we tried to get through before, and that's just sliced through it with ease. So that's the end of the video, just a real quick and easy one, a beginner's guide on how to sharpen a knife using a sharpening stone. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.